Yep.
Doing the recording now? But now,
We could leave the recording now, or we could stop it and
s-
do it later.
just pause for now.
All right. I still haven't joined online yet. Oh, it's. And, oh, wait. All right. How we can say. All right, there's an, I'm to be honest. Hey, Lori. Here's. And I'll see this. Anyway, call to order, statement of public notice. Hereby provided a written notice of the agenda of the public meeting stated below. There's an opportunity for public comment as noted on the agenda upon recognition. By the presiding officer. Roll call. Aaron, South, Gary, Anton, and Lori is.
Present.
Perfect here.
Now we can hear her too.
Pledge allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Action the agenda. Have a motion to adopt the agenda.
I will move to adopt the agenda.
I'll second. All in favor? Pleasure. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Carries. Approval of minutes. Approve the minutes of the public meeting. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve minutes from the November 28th.
I will say.
And the only point of discussion I have with Anton, I'm sorry, I knew there was something you were gonna work on, and I said, I gotta go back to the minutes to see what it was, because I don't think it's on the agenda. Yeah, and then by the time I looked at the agenda. On our minutes, and oh, well, it's now Sunday night. Can't get it to the end of this thing, so. We'll get it next month.
I just wanted to make sure that that was sweet, sorry. Feedback on it.
That's perfect. So motion is to approve minutes. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Public comments. Does anybody wish to make any comments on any topic that is not on the agenda?
I will make one comment, she says, I have tried for the first time, the first two times now using the Sunday request via the town website function, there's a button that appears. And at least the first time it went nowhere apparently. So I tried again tonight, so we'll see whether it winds up someplace that's already access it. So we may have an issue with the website.
Sounds good.
Hey, John?
Yes.
Yeah, Anton, could you maybe try moving your mic closer? I didn't really get the drift of what you said.
I'm done. I'm thinking Anton's not compatible with these microphones.
I think so too.
Just one, two.
So.
Okay, say it again.
That's it.
No, the other thing you said.
We have a feature on the website that allows a town resident, or actually anyone visiting the website, to submit a request. So I tried that out a week or so ago because I found a road sign that was down. And I remembered about it tonight and asked Terry if she had ever gotten that, and she said no. So I had tried again submitting something tonight. We'll see if Terry and staff and not really will figure out either. where those are going, or we will remove the function from the website so that people don't submit requests and then get upset that they're not being active.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to get it fixed. That seems like a useful feature. So hopefully we can,
No,
configure something somewhere that says where to send those.
I have a website suggestion too, as long as you have it up there. Terry, the agenda did come up on the website today, so it was definitely much, however you changed it, it's much easier to find than what it was. I might suggest that, is the map really necessary? Just questioning whether or not the map is actually necessary to be on the document itself. It seems to take up a lot of space on the screen when it's coming up. And the other thing is how you're, I can't explain it to you, but I could screenshot it when it's on my iPad, is that it's listing stuff in rows vertically rather than horizontally, like your plan, your committees and some different things like that. So can I bring that to you, show it to you?
yeah,
And then because it's, I'm seeing it all the time and it's right on your landing page.
okay,
So I don't know any other way to be able to describe it to you.
yeah, you can show me.
Laura, did you say that was on your iPad?
It was on my iPad, but I tried it on my phone as well. And which are both Apples. And I can't remember, it seems to me tonight when it's on my laptop too.
I'm curious, since I'm not seeing that, but I'm not. So, well, I could work with Jerry.
Yeah, so that's what it, yeah, I'll just have to show you because it is in fact on my laptop as well. And yeah, for instance, it says upcoming events, and then under upcoming events, everything is, like I said, going vertical on the page.
And I had that problem last month.
Yeah, well, it's still showing up to, yep, it's still there and it's on all three of my devices.
Yes.
So I figure you'll work through it.
Success is always.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Problem.
Thanks. All right. All right, items for discussion, ongoing items. Sunny Link updates, have you heard anything on disaster recovery cloud backup?
And I'm sorry, I'm not. Him.
Yeah, if you could, also if you'd like, send me his contact, I can reach out. We can change it. Because I think we do need to. We need a response on that, especially if disaster.
So, 3 months now, maybe.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry, it's been.
Google Drive shared storage solution, actually. There was a couple things in the minutes, I did not work on the revised. Well. I started working on the revised, but I don't have a revised version of the document. In largely. The approach is going to be Terry, the town clerk. Manages the drive. And then and it's really just document what we talked about, it's all of the updates would go through the town clerk. If you want to modify it, you can download a copy of your computer. Put Microsoft Word and track changes mode. And you can email it to the town clerk to have it added back to the drive. So I got to the point where I was doing the put Word into track changes, and I can actually do screenshots and put that against and where it starts. Does that seem like a appropriate way to?
Wasn't there supposed to be a recommendation? That's right, originally part started.
Well, we've already got that,
Okay,
and Terry's actually already implemented that.
okay,
And actually, you've implemented, I think, you've taken away the updated documents in the drive as well, haven't you? Or ten.
At one point, we could edit documents directly in Drive.
Oh, the revision button? Have you turned on?
Well, to go into the drive and,
To be able to remind.
Be able to start.
yes, to change the documents. Right.
Call that away.
Yeah, so we've actually already implemented it, we just haven't documented.
Okay.
And that came up last month, it's. You know, we need to communicate that, so, we just really need to, we've already done the changes, we just need to put very clear documentation, so. Now they can't.
Verify that our request edit access fund. So. Good. So.
And then the other thing that came up that wasn't that we need to make sure we add to the next agenda is really not Google Drive shared storage, it's a new bullet item for. Password management.
Then this one on this one.
Yeah, it was kind of a footnote in the meeting notes. And then it's just at the end of the content talking about the shared drive. There was a comment about that Anton was gonna look into it and to create a draft, which he did do.
Okay, it's for the password management. For the specific-
Yeah, I think that's the right phrase. I'll get the specific.
I think there's a couple of aspects, so.
Yeah.
I feel like this, it needs to stand on this point, but I'm not sure how much we want to go into detail. The supplements, so.
Yep, that makes sense. Actually, what I'll do is work through Anton's document, figure out what we should call the item on the agenda. So that's that. Town hall update. We have a town hall update.
Oh, she said that Bruce has set it up for separate major grant system for the 19. The south loop will be set up for solar. And then he will be meeting with Sunny Link to verify the lines and the drops and all of that type of thing, so we already have a meeting scheduled to talk about. You know, then we're meeting, December 28th to go over some of the stuff, and. Yeah, yeah. That's all.
Because we had Anton's massive motion. Yeah, I think the big question that I didn't hear anything on is the backup power and how we're gonna handle in that building if we're going to, because that's kind of the key thing. Is, are we going to route power from backup in this building to that building, which requires definite significant requirement to accommodate that, or are we to kind of solar battery backup? So. Well, so there's really kind of two approaches. One is we use the same generator that we have for this building. And then you have to run power lines, big power lines. Because you send a lot of power to the other building to be able to be powered off the generator with then go to the top line. Because that building's gonna have its own separate feed. It's the normal power is gonna come directly from power. And so they'd have to do something to accommodate sending backup power from this building to that.
And the other be switching equipment staff to be built and accommodate switching that and forth through that power.
Yeah, both routing power and having the right. to Accommodate it. The other option is if we decide to go solar in that building. Solar as a backup didn't, solar and batteries for this building didn't make sense because what we would need to run the pump was massive. It would probably be adequate for that building. So that could be an option as well, but one way or another, we want to think about for the building, how to, how,
Or there may be a third option, or there may be a third option. But those are the two, because you're assuming the solar piece will go through. If it doesn't go through, then you have to come up with option 3, if the first one doesn't work.
right,
Like, might be another separate.
right, so you get a separate generator in that building. So, but the two that were recommending, their routing system generator, try and think that off. So
I guess the fourth option is say that the entire building doesn't need to be powered in others, the UPS is for the key ones.
do we have, that's a pretty good question. For the computers in the office, are they on UPS units or are they just pointing like offices?
Power links out here, 2 weeks ago, they were back in computers. It's gonna be on this.
Cause you would know, right, the computer would shut down. And have to-
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, right? Yeah.
All right. So, and maybe even that's, but that's sufficient. But. Consider it now. Since we're-
Got it.
All right. Any other comments on town hall?
I think Teresa also said that she already had discussions with the Navy before.
Yeah, we actually, one of the quotes she had was from the Navy. Homes to remove what we had plus replace what we're not. All right. Do you like the budget? We haven't said so. Yeah, we need to spend more money. We should go Christmas shopping for the office. Now, is our budget year a calendar year in town? Okay. I figured I should ask this. A lot of places have a fiscal year. Now, for next year, we carried over the same budget, right?
I don't remember.
I don't think we reduced it.
I don't remember.
That'd probably be where keeping that so as we. Things.
I would assume that some the costs associated with the new building are probably going to build it.
Yeah, that would typically make sense.
As long as when Terry is walking around there, when we're getting costs on some of these things, do we have an option for more than one person, or is it in all honesty only going to be one bidder on? It's a matter of just finding out what it's going to cost for the purpose of putting it into the overall project total, or are we in fact going to be looking to be able to get competitive bids for some of this for this work?
You know, I guess that's really a question for the board. We certainly could get.
Well, before you go too far, John, I'm just wondering if we have any options for competitive bidding on these things, is from a professional standpoint where you guys work with this.
Yeah, there's always options. It's yeah, short answer is yes, we can definitely get competitive bids if we need to. I guess you start looking and one of the kind of the key things that you tend to look at is what's the bid that you have? Well, first of all, if you're legally required, you get competitive bids. If you're not required, you look at the the bids from your current vendors. And a lot of times if they're reasonable bids, and that's one of the things that Teresa wanted us to look at, was do these bids look right to you, or are they crazy? If you get crazy bids back, then you'd say, well, let's go competitive. If the bids are in the ballpark, and you're not talking a huge thing, you're not, the potential for savings in a competitive bid is pretty small. And the cost of doing a competitive bid is not insignificant. So that's kind of where we come into it. So at least that's kind of my thinking.
There's also costs in shipping from one vendor to another, especially if they're providing services as well as.
Yeah, so moving the AV side is a great example of that.
What's a great example, John?
The AV equipment, the
Oh, okay, yes.
we wouldn't want to have a different vendor move that, because in essence, that gives the vendor that we bought it from a get out of jail free card on, well, you had somebody else touch it, we're now not gonna provide. It kind of gives them a legitimate
Warranty.
perspective to say, we're not gonna stand behind what we sold.
Is that kind of typical?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we
That
want,
person who touches something wants it.
yeah, so you touched the last philosophy.
Okay,
So that would be an example where you wouldn't want to go to a competitive bid unless you truly had to, or unless they came out with some crazy numbers. Some of the other things, some of the additional things that they didn't put in originally, for example, if we thought what they were coming back with the television setup was unreasonable, you could peel that piece off, for example, but again, then you gotta be looking at what's the cost of competitive bid versus the potential savings.
well, and the next question I would have is, if to use a television as an example probably is not the best example, because there's so many, it's so easy for everyone to hop on the internet, and then you don't even know if you're talking about the same thing. So
Yeah, that kind of.
I get I think I understand what you're trying to say, though.
Yeah, and I haven't seen anything that was significant enough that it would make sense. The other thing to keep in mind is that it would take several months to get through the process.
Okay.
Terry, what do we budget for next year?
12,000.
Okay, so we did got it. That's probably. All right. Any other discussion on IT budget?
Very little time, it's happen next year, but it's.
Yep. Yeah, 12,000. That's probably reasonable.
Anyway, that's good.
Recommendations to the town board, we do not have any this week.
I guess I just ordered the meeting with, which,
The generator.
asking about the.
Do we want to does that need to be a formal recommendation? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think it's all formal recommendations.
So
Yeah, so, but yeah, definitely let's make sure that they get the comments around the backup tower. And they can refer back to the recommendation we made last month. Mentions that.
Okay.
So it's not really a recommendation, it's already. But yeah, reminder of there was that,
there was,
there was a recommendation, we haven't taken any action on it yet. Items for next agenda. Carrying over the ongoing items, we're gonna add the password management. Yeah, I'll get the specific wording for you on that, but we're adding that as a main ongoing item.
Yeah, we just call it password management, so you know.
Yeah, put password management on for now and all. If nothing else, when you send the agenda out for me. I'll get it. Say, if I haven't put it number by then, say, oh, I gotta. and I have-
If I have it on your mind. Okay,
Date for next meeting. It's currently scheduled for January 23rd. Mary and I will be remote unless we wanted to, because we moved this month's up 1 week. I'd be okay moving next month's up to the 16th if that works for everybody, and then Mary and I will be, well, I'd be here live, Mary, so. I think
It's also holiday.
the 16th.
Oh, no, not the Tuesday, Monday,
Is that finance? See on this one. There.
Calendar says it's there. Or we can keep it on the 23rd.
yeah, that's sometime February 16. Like that.
Okay, well, let's keep it on the 23rd and, like I said, Mary and I will be more. Anton, if you can kind of be the reader of the room here.
See, police.
So, sounds good, so we'll keep it as 23rd. All right, I have a motion to adjourn.
I will be machine.
I'll second.
We are adjourned. We made it under 30 minutes. All right, thanks, Lori. Oh, there we go.
Oh, bye.
That was really